some few basics of cognitive radio and basics of cooperative communications, and then I'll end with energy harvesting. Okay. Yeah. Challenges for wireless communications. The main challenge in wireless communication is to improve the spectral efficiency, because a spectrum is very expensive and it is scarce. Okay. And we our aim is to get the maximum spectral efficiency, which is nothing but maximum data rate per bandwidth, which is measured in bits per second per hertz. How many bits per second we can transmit per hertz is treated as spectral efficiency, and we aim to maximize this factor as much as possible. And the quality, because in wireless communication the link fluctuates because of the multipath propagation and shadowing, and we desire a SNR that should have large mean and very low variance, then we will have good quality of service. Okay. And and also we have limited power constraints in wireless communications, because we cannot transmit the power as we desire, since it is going to affect the ambience and human beings as well as uh, birds and all. Okay. Then how can we maximize the spectral efficiency and quality with limited power transfer? And we have the solution, which is MIMO wireless system. Here you can see that this is the transmitter and this is the receiver. This transmitter, you can see it as a base station or cellular tower, and receiver as a mobile, or both can be vice versa also. And this is the wireless environment, which consists of trees, buildings, and so on. Okay, MIMO means using multiple antennas at transmitter and receiver, which is multiple input and multiple output. The antennas should be spaced in such a way that the signals received by each antenna at the receiver should get independently faded. Okay, otherwise we will not get the benefits of MIMO. The minimum distance between any two antennas will be half of the wavelength of the transmitted signal, lambda by 2. Okay. And we can allow space time signaling, like we can use transmit the symbols across time as well as across space means transmit antennas actually. Okay, here is the diagram that shows the benefits of MIMO. This is rate and this is minimum of transmit and receive antennas. If you see, the rate is directly proportional to minimum of TX and RX antennas. Okay, if we increase the number of antennas, we can as well increase the rate. And here in the right side, we can see the plot between capacity versus SNR. You can see here at an SNR of around 15 dB, this blue curve represents 1 by 1 antenna, simple CISO, single input, single output, that is having a spectral efficiency of 4.3 bits per second per hertz. At the same SNR, the red curve, which is 1 by 16 antennas, one transmit antenna and 16 receive antennas. It is having a spectral efficiency of 9 bits per second per hertz. And the green curve at the same SNR of 15 dB, we are showing for 8 by 8 system, 8 transmit antennas and 8 receive antennas. It is having a greater throughput of 32.3 bits per second per hertz. Therefore, we can say that MIMO systems can efficiently improve the throughput or spectral efficiency of the wireless communication systems. Okay, multiply the data rate, multiply the throughput, which gives us actually this dollar symbol means it will give us in terms of revenues, and multiply the number of users. Let us say if we increase the number of users for a cellular for a cell region, we can get more revenues. Okay. And This is signal quality through diversity. This red curve actually represents the signal received with single transmit antenna, single receive antenna, and this black one represents the signal power with MIMO. Okay, yeah, sorry, it's actually 2 by 2 MIMO. Okay, 2 by 2 MIMO, we are getting this one. Here in the black curve, we can see that the fluctuations are very less, whereas the mean SNR value also is very high. Whereas in the red curve, the mean value is lower, at the same time the fluctuations are very high. We call these fluctuations as fading, wireless fading. If we draw the error rate for these both systems, the red one is having very high bit error rate as compared to the lower one. Lower one is nothing but 2 cross 2 MIMO system. It is having very lower SNR, and we can say that this is one antenna and this is fourth order diversity. We have 2 by 2 here. Total diversity we can achieve, the maximum diversity that can be achieved with 2 cross 2 is 4, which is that's why the slope, we call the slope as diversity order. Sorry, actually the diversity order can be seen in the slope. Okay, negative of the slope. Okay, which is nothing but number of degrees of freedom for a given MIMO system. Okay, the maximum diversity order that we can achieve is number of transmit antennas into number of receive antennas. Okay, which for a 2 by 2 it is 4. That's why the slope is 4. Okay. Okay. Now antennas provide diversity advantage. Diversity advantage means this one actually. In this curve, we can see that the fluctuations are less and the mean is high. It reflects in terms of error probability with lower bit error rate and having higher negative slope. Okay, and it reduced large gains for moderate to high SNR, and it reduces the fading effect and better user experience. Okay, which is a good thing. And MIMO systems are currently adopted everywhere, starting from 3G, 4G, 5G cellular networks, and also in WLAN. WLAN is nothing but our Wi-Fi routers placed in our homes, which are ranging. The standards are from 11A to 11B, N, AC, AX, AH, AY. AY is also there, which is uh, which is millimeter wave based. AD and AY are millimeter wave based WLANs. Okay, everywhere currently MIMO systems are being used. Now, what are the performance benefits that we see through MIMO? First one is antenna or array gain. What is antenna or array gain? Which is nothing but the improvement in the average SNR received. Improvement in the average SNR received. That is called as the antenna or array gain. With this, extended battery life, extended range, and higher throughputs can be obtained. What happens is, let us say we have 1 cross 1 system, and with that we transmit some XdB of power. If we have more antennas with total power less than the XdBm, we can achieve the performance that can be obtained with a single transmit, single receive antenna systems. With that, we can save the power, in turn saves the extended battery life and extended range as well, and throughput. And diversity gain is nothing but lowering the slope of the BER curve actually, which actually improves the reliability, means less bit error rate means more reliability, more robust performance of the services in fading environments. And interference suppression, we can suppress the interference that is coming out from the other users also using MIMO techniques. Okay, we have improved link quality, reliability, and robustness with this benefit. And then multiplexing gain. Okay, what is multiplexing? Okay, in a single CISO system, CISO means single input single output system, we can transmit one data symbol at a given time. but through multiplexing of MIMO, we can transmit NT equal to total number of transmit antennas. At a time, NT data symbols we can transmit, thereby increasing the data rate through NT. Okay, straightforward. And then reduced interference to other systems. Through MIMO, we can beam our signal to the desired user, thereby we can reduce the total amount of interference caused to other users. Yeah, you can ask questions in between if you have any doubts. Okay. Next. Okay. Uh, if there are M transmit antennas or M receive antennas, we can get a diversity order gain of M. This is only single input, multiple output, or multiple input, single output systems. This is true actually. Okay, and we can suppress M minus 1 interferers, and we can provide diversity gain of M minus J for nulling of J interference. Let us say there are J interferer signals in nearby, and we have M transmit antennas. The effective diversity gain we will get is M minus J after nullifying the interference, and we can obtain multiplexing gain, which is minimum of M comma n. M is the number of transmit antennas and n is number of receive antennas if transmitter has multiple antennas. And okay, now what are the trade-offs between various gains of the MIMO system? Okay, here you can see that this is the transmitter, okay, which is sending two spatial streams, stream 1 and stream 2, to the receiver. You can call this as a base station, and this is like some multipath object, some building you can assume, and this is the interference caused by some other base station in the adjacent cell. Okay, this green arrow. What we can do here at the receiver is we can null the interference caused by this other user. At the same time, we can get the diversity benefits through this multiple input of the system. And here spatial multiplexing provides for multiple data streams, and TX beamforming and RX diversity provide robustness to fading. And TX beamforming and RX nulling cancel the interference, and can also use DSP techniques to remove interference post detection. And we can note one thing here is we cannot obtain both the benefits of multiplexing as well as diversity at the same time. Let us say we are using these four antennas to transmit four spatial streams, then we cannot obtain any diversity. All the four spatial streams will have a diversity order of 1 each. Okay, there is a trade-off between spatial multiplexing and diversity. Let us say we use all four antennas to transmit only one symbol, then we will get a diversity order of 4 here, since 4 transmit antennas are there. Okay, yeah, there is a trade-off. Okay, we can use two symbols to transmit through these 4 antennas, and then we can get a better diversity order, which is greater than 1. Okay, is this clear? Okay, am I audible? Sorry. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, yeah, you can ask questions if you have any. Yeah, thank you. 1 second. Yeah. I'll go to next slide. Yeah. Next, antenna techniques. There are mainly two antenna techniques. First one is switched beam or phased array. Second one is smart antennas or adaptive array. Yeah, what is switched beam or phased array? Here, antenna points in a desired direction, uh, and other directions have lower gain. This does not give any diversity. What happens is here the antenna physically mounts towards the user, and whereas in smart antennas, the antennas does not point towards the user. Okay, but what happens, we do signal processing operations, okay, optimally weighed, which are nothing but we do some signal processing operations in order to get the in order to get better SNR at the desired location. Here we do not move the antennas in a particular direction. Okay, and we discuss all MIMO techniques corresponds to these smart antennas only, which are there in our Wi-Fi routers, which are there in our base station antennas, which are there in our mobiles. Okay, all are smart antennas. They are not switched or beam phased antenna arrays. Actually, our Sun Direct or Dish TV antennas, they are actually pointed or phased, switched beam or phased arrays. Okay, all our antennas in routers, mobiles, they are smart antennas. Okay, now I will go through a basic MIMO setup. Okay, which one is a CMO? We call it as CMO is a single input, multiple output system. Here we have only one transmit antenna and two receive antennas. I will take a 1x2 system. Okay, here let us say yes is the symbol that is transmitted from the TX. Okay, the received symbol at first transmit antenna is Y1 is equal to H1S plus E1, where E1 is nothing but the noise at the first transmit antenna, and Y2 received symbol at second antenna is H2S plus E2, where E2 is nothing but the noise at second transmit antenna. And this H1 and H2, H1 and H2 are the fading coefficients of the TX2 first antenna and TX2 second antenna respectively. Let us say we have Y1 and Y2 at the RX. We need to design a combiner such that we should maximize the SNR. Okay, now S cap is nothing but the estimate of the transmitted symbol S. What we are doing here is we are weighing the received samples Y1 and Y2 with weighing coefficients W1 and W2. Okay, if W1 W2 is a vector, then the weighing will be done as W Hermitian into Y, which is nothing but W1 conjugate Y1 plus W2 conjugate Y2. Okay, after that we will get this factor W1 conjugate H1 plus W2 conjugate H2 times S, and the remaining portion W1 conjugate E1 plus W2 conjugate E2, which is noise. Okay, here we have this as a signal portion and the second half as noise portion. Okay, if we need to choose W1 and W2 appropriately to maximize the SNR. Okay, if we just write the expression of SNR for this one, we'll get this one. Okay, like here W1 conjugate H1 plus W2 conjugate H2 whole square, mod square divided by this one, and into expected value of mod S square, which is nothing but the transmit power in the symbol S. Okay, choose W1 and W2 to maximize the SNR. We can use Cauchy-Squarch inequality, and we can then to maximize this expression, then we'll get the weights of W1 and W2 to be like this, which is nothing but H1 conjugate by this and H2 conjugate by norm of H bar. Okay, by substituting W1 and W2 in this expression, SNR with MRC can be obtained like this: mod of H1 square plus mod of H2 square over sigma square, where sigma square is nothing but the noise variance of E1 and E2. We assume that E1 and E2 will have the same noise variance as sigma square. Okay, if fading is Rayleigh, if we assume the fading to be Rayleigh distributed, and then mod H1 square plus mod H2 square is chi-square distributed, with 2 degrees of freedom. Okay, that means psi square of 2. Then if the SNR is chi-square distributed with 2 degrees of freedom, then if we derive the error probability, I have not given the expression and derivation for error probability here, since it will take more time. I just giving the intuition. Whatever the distribution of SNR, whatever the number of degrees of freedom present in the SNR, that will be the diversity order of the system. Okay, since we have 2 degrees of freedom here, okay, then if we derive the error probability, then it will be like directly proportional to SNR average to the power minus 2. That means the error probability decays with a negative slope of 2, okay, at high SNRs. That is called as diversity. So we have a diversity order of 2 here. Okay, for a CMOS system, single input multiple output 1 cross 2 system, we have a diversity order of 2. Now uh, I will go to MISO system, multiple input single output system, where my transmitter is having two antennas, for example here, and it can have more also. I am just taking two antennas as an example here, and one receive antenna. Okay, let us say I am transmitting the same symbol S from both first antenna as well as second antenna. Then what will I get? This is H1, this is H2, and I am applying weights of W1 and W2, okay, to these signals, where W1 and W2 are pre-weights at Tx. Let us say we do not use any weighing at the transmitter. Then what happens? The SNR will be nothing but mod of H1 plus H2 whole square divided by 2 sigma square times expected value of mod of S square. Okay, mod of H1 plus H2 square divided by 2. This is the factor that needs to be looked in the SNR, which is a chi-square 1 distributed. That means the meso system with no precoding is equivalent to a CISO system. Means if we don't do any precoding and simply transmit the same symbol from each transmit antenna, then that is nothing but equivalent to a single input single output system. We do not obtain any benefits of the MIMO if we don't use precoding for a meso system. Okay, that has same error probability as CISO system. So what should we do? We should do maximal ratio transmission or beam forming for a meso system. Maximal ratio transmission, which is nothing but TX beam forming. For that, what we need to do is we need to select the coefficients W1 and W2, okay, in such a way that the SNR here, if we keep W1, W2 also, that will be maximized. Then the weight will be like this. W1 is this one, root 2 times H1 conjugate over this. W2 is root 2 times H2 conjugate by this. Then we get the SNR with MRT or beam forming as like this, which is mod h1 square plus mod h2 square over sigma square times expected value of s square, which is nothing but same as CMOS system, same as 1 cross 2 system. Okay, same diversity order or performance as that equivalent to a CMOS system at the cost of CSIT. Okay, now we should look into the complexity. If we go little up in the previous slide, here one transmit antenna is there, two receive antennas are there. The receiver has to multiply with these weights W1 and W2. Okay, how receiver will get these weights? What happens is in any general communication system, if you take any cellular system or Wi-Fi system, what happens is initially before sending the data, they will send some preambles, okay, which simply consists of some repetitive pulses, okay, known pattern to both transmitter and receiver. By receiving those repetitive pulses or preambles, the receiver can actually estimate the channels H1 and H2. So it is not very difficult for the receiver to estimate W1 and W2. Whereas in the meso system, multiple input single output system, there is no transmission between rx to tx if it is only one way communication. So in order to estimate w1 and w2 at the tx, receiver has to send some feedback information. Separate signaling has to be done from rx to tx, which will be a little costlier. It will reduce the throughput of overall system, and also it is little complex. Okay, to achieve the same diversity order as meso system, sorry, CMOS system, meso system should have feedback, which is complex. So what we do to get transmit diversity, we will go for 2 cross 1 Alamo T code. This is very groundbreaking work done by Alamoti. This is used currently in cellular base station to mobile communication, as well as in our routers to mobile communication. Okay, in Wi-Fi as well as cellular communication, this Alamoti code is widely used. And what happens here is transmit two symbols during two time intervals via this. Let us say this is the matrix we transmit. Okay, in the first time slot, first antenna transmits S1 and second antenna transmits S2. In the second time slot, first antenna transmits S2 conjugate, second antenna transmits minus S1 conjugate. Overall, in two time intervals, we are transmitting two different symbols. Then the data rate will be one symbol per one time slot. Okay, which is not similar to meso system, multiple input single output system, where we are transmitting one symbol in one time instance. Okay, the total transmit power is nothing but expected value of Sn square, where n is either 1 or 2. Here we have kept 1 by root 2 in such a way that at a time we are transmitting two symbols, right? Half the power is distributed to S1 and the remaining half is distributed to S2. Okay, if let us assume that we do not have any noise, in that case, what is the received signal? This is the transmit matrix, and in two time slots, we assume that the channel does not change for both the time slots H for both T1 and T2. For these two symbols will experience the same fading. That's what we assume. That's why we have kept only H1 and H2 here. Okay, after multiplying symbol matrix with the channel matrix, we obtain this one. Now, if we take a complex conjugate of the second received signal, okay, this one, this first row corresponds to first received signal, and second row corresponds to second received signal. Let us do a small trick to get a simple receiver. Okay, what we do is we take the first one as it is, y1, second one will simply do conjugate, y2 conjugate. So in that case, what we'll get, this row will not be changed, and the second row will be like h1 conjugate s2 minus h2 conjugate s1. And if we again decouple this one into channel and symbols, we will get like this. Okay, this is the effective channel matrix, and this S1 and S2 are our transmitted symbols. Okay, if and E1 and E2 conjugate are nothing but noise values at transmit and noise values in the first time interval and the second time interval. Okay, this can be written like this: F S bar plus E bar, where F is nothing but this one, 1 over root 2 times H1 H2 minus H2 conjugate H1 conjugate. Okay, S bar is nothing but transmit vector S1 S2, and E bar is nothing but E1 E2 conjugate. Okay, we can show that F Hermitian into F is nothing but 1/2 norm of h square times I. What is norm of h square? Which is nothing but mod h1 square plus mod h2 square. Okay, therefore what we can say that F is a orthogonal matrix. F is a orthogonal matrix. Then if we do equalization at the receiver, let S cap is the output symbol obtained after equalization. This is the equalization we do. 2 over norm of h square times F Hermitian. Okay, this is the equalization matrix we need to do to obtain S bar. What is our aim? Finally, we need to separate S from the noise. Or equalization means we need to multiply with the corresponding channel matrix. Okay, why we are doing 2 by mod H square? Since F is having a norm of half times F Hermitian. F is nothing but half times norm of H square. That's why we are normalizing this factor F with its power, we can say. That is not power actually. Okay, to normalize the F matrix we use this factor 2 by norm of H square. Okay, after that we'll get this one S bar plus 2 over this, which is having which is distributed. N means Gaussian distributed. Okay, C means complex circular, which is having a mean of S and a variance of 2 times sigma square by norm H square into I. This is covariance matrix actually. Okay, now we can see that both, if we write them into S1 and S2, here S1 cap equal to S1 plus this noise variance, and S2 is S2 cap equal to S2 plus some noise. Okay, then this H would actually symbol by symbol decoupling. ML detection of S1 and S2 decouples into two independent scalar problems as if we have a seesaw system. Then the SNR for each symbol, yes, either S1 or S2, will have as this half times norm H square divided by sigma square times expected value of mod S square. We assume that same energy for both S1 and S2. With this, we can say that diversity order of 2. How can we say diversity order of 2? In the SNR expression, if we see mod H square, which is nothing but mod H1 square plus mod H2 square, which is chi-square 2 distributed. Whatever the distribution of the SNR, whatever the number of degrees of freedom of the SNR, we will get the diversity as order as the same. Okay, here the number of degrees of freedom for this mod H square is 2. Therefore, we have a diversity order 2, and this code is rate 1. Why rate 1? Because we are transmitting two symbols in 2 time intervals, so our rate is 2 by 2 1, and it will have the performance loss of 3 dB because the SNR with meso system does not have this half factor, whereas Alamoti code is having this half factor. Therefore, we have a loss of 3 dB. Half means 3 dB with the Alamoti code. But the very great advantage of Alamoti code is that we do not need to have CSIT, okay, channel state information at the transmitter. Okay, without CSIT we can achieve diversity order of 2 with Alamoti code. That is the great advantage. That's why currently also in all communication systems Alamoti code is used. This is there are multiple space-time block codes. Actually, we call Alamoti code as space-time block code because we are coding across space, we are coding across time. That's why we call this as space-time block code. Block code means we are transmitting symbols in terms of blocks. This is one block. Okay, space-time block code, and Alamoti block code is the only block code that is used so far. Only space-time block code that is used. And now these are the diversity techniques we have discussed so far: 1 cross 2, 2 cross 1, and like that. Okay, now what is spatial division? Multiplexing. Each antenna of the transmitter send a different symbol. Okay, that improves the data rate. Let us say we have NT transmit antennas, and all the NT antennas will transmit a separate symbol, thereby increasing the data rate to NT. At the receiver, the received symbols can be seen as like this: R1 comma T. T means at a tth interval of time. Okay, R2, RNR. Okay, these are the received signals at the at all antennas of the receiver, and these are the channel coefficients: H11, H1, H1 NT, H21, H22, and so on. Let us say what is H11, which is nothing but channel coefficients from first antenna of the receiver to first antenna of the transmitter. What is H12? H12 is nothing but channel coefficients from second antenna of the receiver to first antenna of this one. What is H1NT? Channel coefficients from NR. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I have taken the reverse direction. Sorry, from NTth antenna to first antenna. Okay, in such a way that we can represent the system. Now, how to detect the received vector? Let us say we have received this one R1, R2, Rn. If we write in terms of equations, each received symbol consists of combination of all the transmitted symbols. Okay, each received signal consists of combination of all the transmitted signals. How to separate them? Okay, first detector we use is the ML receiver. ML receiver is the optimal receiver, means that is the best receiver which can achieve best performance among the existing receivers. What it does is it minimizes the Euclidean distance between the received vector and all possible combinations of the transmitted vectors. Okay, let S cap bar is not, bold letter means vector. Okay, S cap is the estimation of the transmitted vector at the receiver. It can be seen as we try to minimize this argument, which is nothing but R bar minus H into S bar. Bar means vector, I am saying. Okay, R minus HS. R is nothing but this vector, okay, which is combination of all one, and H into S. H, let us say we estimate the channel H and we need to do the minimization as below. Okay, we need to swap all the possible values corresponds to S and find the matrix, and for which value of S that minimizes we map S cap to that one. Okay, for example, to explain the ML detector, I am taking an example. Consider a 2 by 2 MIMO system at a time instant t. Okay, t equal to 1. Sorry, okay, at time instant t we have the received signal, channel matrix, transmitted signal and noise vector as follows. This is the received vector R1, R2. This is the channel vector H11, H12, H21, H22, and this is the transmitted symbol S1, S2, and N1, N2 are the noise values at receive antenna 1 and receive antenna 2. If we elaborate this one, y is equal to hs plus n, r equal to hs plus n, we have r1 as this one. R1 is nothing but h11 s1, h12 s2 plus n1. R2 is having h21 s1, h22 s2 plus n2. We can see that both r1 and r2 consists of s1 s2, here also s1 s2. Okay, how to separate them? This is okay, this is the problem of MIMO detection. Okay, what we do in ML receiver, at the receiver we want to detect S1 symbol transmitted from antenna 1 and S2 symbol transmitted from antenna 2 at time t, but there exists interference of these two signals for both the receiving antennas. We assume that bits are modulated in M-array constellation. Okay, all these S is actually what? The symbol that is transmitted. How do we take symbols? From a constellation we take generally, which is BPSK, QPSK, 16 pm, 64 pm, 256 pm, like that. Okay, SK belongs to one of these S1, S22 and so on Sm. We need to find the minimum metric of the Euclidean distance. Whatever we have written here, ML metric that corresponds to this for a simple 2 by 2 system. Okay, R1 minus H11 Si H12 Sj whole square plus R2 minus H21 Si plus H22 Sj whole square. Okay, we need to minimize this metric. Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, please let me know if you have any doubts in between. Yeah. Actually, these MIMO topics are very important because all current communication technologies are based on this only. Even in 5G, currently they are going towards massive MIMO, where 100 more than 100 antennas are placed at each base station and are operated in millimeter wave communication. And these are the very fundamentals of MIMO. Okay, we need to learn these topics if you want to go to advanced MIMO techniques. Okay. Okay. No, sorry, I'm going upwards. Next, let us say we have taken QAM. 4QAM means we have four symbols. Okay, and since we have two transmit antennas, 2 by 2 system, we take S1 and S2. That means one out of four symbols, another one out of four symbols. Okay, total like that. How many pairs exist here for a 4QAM and 2 by 2 system? We have 4 cross 4, 4, and that means 16 combinations are required. That means here we need to compare, we need to calculate 16 such metrics, and the metric that has the minimum value, take those Si and Sj. Okay, now for 3 by 3 we have how many combinations? We have total 64 metric calculations. Okay, because 4 to the power of 3, which is nothing but 4 cube is nothing but 64. In general, the decoding complexity increases exponentially, which is nothing but the total number of metrics required are m to the power nt. M is what? Constellation size, and nt is what? Number of transmit antennas. Let us say for m is equal to 64, that means 64 QAM, which is generally used. Currently in Wi-Fi 802.11ax, Wi-Fi 6 they are calling, they are using 1024 QAM, and in the next generation 802.11b they are going to use 4 QAM, 4096 QAM. That means it has 4096 points closely spaced. Okay, we are here simply taking 64 QAM only. Okay, and 4 transmit antennas, and for this itself how many metrics need to be calculated? 1,67,77,216 metrics need to be calculated, and among them we need to do those many comparisons again, which one is the minimum one. Okay, therefore it's very complex, practically not feasible for large values of m and nt. Okay, however, this is the best or upper bound for the capacity ML receiver. What is the diversity order for this ML receiver? Which is nothing but number of receive antennas, because the comparisons are in terms of these summation terms. Whatever the number of summation terms, that corresponds to the diversity order in ML. I have not provided here the proof, since it's very lengthy. That itself will take 2 hours time. That's why I have not given it here. Next, that's why we go for linear MIMO receivers. Okay, what is linear receiver? In a linear receiver or detector, a linear processor W is first applied to the received signal vector. The estimated symbol after that is given by S cap is equal to W Hermitian into R bar. What we do is, R bar is the received vector. We simply multiply R bar with W Hermitian. W Hermitian is a vector. Okay, after multiplying with this weight, what we do, we simply get rid of the interference from the other symbols. We decode them, we decode each of them separately. Okay, next, in linear receivers we have zero forcing receiver first. Okay, what it does is it minimizes the squared Euclidean distance to the received vector R. Okay, here this is the metric that needs to be minimized, R minus mod HS square. Okay, S belongs to this. We need to differentiate this with respect to S. Okay, and then find the value of S hat. Okay, then we'll get it. Here after doing that differentiation and get the value of S hat, we'll get zero forcing vector as this one. Okay, we call this as H dagger, which is nothing but H Hermitian into H whole inverse, H Hermitian. Let us say uh, if H is a square matrix, then zero forcing matrix becomes H inverse, simply H inverse. Okay. Now MMSE receiver, which is nothing but minimum mean square error receiver. It minimizes the mean square error between the actual and the detected signals. Okay, this is a metric that needs to be minimized. Okay, after differentiating this expected value. Okay, what is this expected value? After differentiating this with respect to W, we will get WMMSC as this one. We will multiply with W Hermitian. Okay. Now, what are the disadvantages of linear receivers? With linear receivers, we lose diversity. Okay. What is the diversity with MMSC and zero forcing? The diversity with MMSC and zero forcing is NR minus NT plus 1. Let us say we have 2 cross 2 system. What is the diversity here? 2 minus 2 plus 1. Only 1, which is equivalent to CISO system. Okay, zero forcing and MMSC are nothing equivalent to CISO systems in terms of diversity. But what is the advantage over CISO system? We are getting here spatial multiplexing gain. We have double the data rate. Okay. Whereas in ML receiver, we have double the data rate. At the same time, each stream is having diversity of 2. Okay. Now I'll go through the channel capacity derivation for MIMO system. Okay. Can I take a short break of 2 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Sorry for this. I know. Yeah, sorry.